Okay, ladies, we got a couple more people straggling in here real quick, but I think we're going to try to get started because we've only got like 45 minutes before we've got to kind of wrap it up so you guys can get to your next class. And I want to have plenty of time for question and answers. I'm going to actually probably keep my part kind of short, just because I think question and answers are probably what you guys are most looking for. So, yeah. It's I thought it was supposed to be on just to that. Maybe not. I don't. But I'll talk louder here in just a second, I promise. I can do that. Okay, so for those of you who I don't know, welcome. And my name is Tracey Gengler. I'm a director with Jordan Essentials. I've been with the company for a little over 4 years. And my passion is face care, skin care, especially I focus on acne. Acne treatment, especially like in the teen. I kind of just like helping people in those teenage years get rid of all those pesky skin issues that they have. So that's kind of my focus. I did want to kind of touch on why I joined Jordan Essentials because it was based on the face care. So that's why I'm here today. And so just quickly about my story. I worked for Tyson Foods for 8 years as a breeder manager. And then kind of towards the end of that, I started to get chronic facial dermatitis, really, really bad. So here, I had red, itchy, puffy, terrible looking skin. And I was 30-something at that time. I could not wear any kind of makeup. Not even the kind that was labeled mineral, because we all know that even if it's labeled mineral, it's not 100% mineral like ours is. And so I had a hard time even wearing makeup. I could only use like Cetaphil cleanser to cleanse my face with. I really did not want to go anywhere. I didn't want to be around anybody. I'm a pretty outgoing person, but at that point in my life, I just kind of shut down. And it was 2 full years of me shutting down because of my face. And I had gone to dermatologists. They put me on prescription medications. I was on 2 prescription medication creams a day. And then I was on tetracycline every 3 months. And that went on for 2 years until I went to a vendor event in my hometown. And I met a gal that was selling a lotion bar, and I bought a lotion bar from her. She obviously didn't see my face as bad as it was. It must have been covered up pretty good that day. But I went back the following year to buy another lotion bar from her, from several actually, because I was going to give them for Christmas presents. So, and it was right before Christmas. And she saw my face and she said, "Oh my goodness, what's wrong with, what do you got going on with your skin on your face there?" And I said, "Well, I've got chronic facial dermatitis." And she said, "You have to try our products." And I said, "Oh, no. My dermatologist said I can't do that. I can't, I have to use Cetaphil cleanser. That's all I can use. And I've got to use these prescription creams." And so she gave me a week sample, the little samples that we give. She gave me a week sample of the face care, because back then we only had 1 face care kit. Everybody who's been with us for a while remembers that. Didn't have any choices, so we just had the face care kit. Took it home. After a week, I was like, wow, my face doesn't burn so bad. It wasn't as red. It wasn't as inflamed. And I thought, I think I'm going to ask my husband, to buy me this because it was around Mother's Day. At that point, when I finally had kind of used the system, it took me a couple of months to actually use those samples because I was really scared to do that. So it was getting close to Mother's Day. I asked my husband, I said, it's only $75 for this whole kit. Get it for me for Mother's Day for the kids, and we'll just see how it does. That way I don't feel guilty buying another product that was just going to sit on the shelf and then I was going to throw in the trash. So that's what he did. Within 1 month, my chronic facial dermatitis was completely gone. I was able to wear mineral makeup again, although it itched my face off because it was not our mineral makeup. And so shortly after that, Nancy had come out with the makeup. I started using our makeup, which did not contain talc or bismuth oxide, which were the 2 ingredients in the other mineral makeup that I was using, was really, really irritating my skin. So the rest is history. I actually signed up to be a consultant because I was using more and more products, and my upline had said, you really just need to become a consultant, even if it's just for the discount, because you're buying more than you really should from me and not get the discount. So that's what I did. Swore to her I would never make this a business. Wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to have anything to do with the business. She said, well, that's fine, but at least just hold your premiere show so that you can, you know, back then we had a, what was it, like a smart, it wasn't the Smart Start, but it was Fast Start one. And I thought, well, I could do that. I could get, you know, $50 or $100 or whatever, and then once I get those, I can just stop. My first show was a $1,200 show. I got, I think 4 or 5 bookings off of that show. And then I thought, well, gosh, that was pretty easy. And it just seemed to kind of fit into my life. So from there, I have just shared with everybody this great face care system. Like, I just tell everybody I know about this face care system. And that's pretty much what I do. I share about our face care system. And Nancy so graciously let me help kind of build the acne treatment system with the last catalog or the catalog before, I'm not sure, when we changed that system. So if you guys all have your catalogs, you can kind of follow along a little bit. I don't have the products with me, but if you just follow along in your catalog, we can kind of just go over that. It's on page 21. And I am going to go ahead and hand out some sheets. And a lot of you may already have this sheet. It's basically just the sheet that's online that we posted at the last, I believe it was at the product launch. So I'm just going to go ahead and pass these out, and you guys can just pass. If you guys just want to pass them, like kind of just pass them down, take one and pass them around. So basically this is truly and honestly, this is very simple. And I'm going to tell you that the key to any of our products is product knowledge. Learn as much as you can about our products before you share them with people. And we've got so many online resources for you to do that. And then once you start doing that and you start kind of experimenting with some of your customers as far as, because everybody's skin is different. You know, what I do for Julie is not going to be the same thing that I do for Vanessa, which is not going to be the same thing that I do for Paula. You're going to start with a base, you know, you're going to start with a base, and then you're going to kind of build from there. When we worked on building these acne treatment systems, the basic system, the everyday system, and the premier system, these were the things that I recommended to Nancy because these were the things that worked for me on my customers for the past, you know, 2 years. So we built those systems around what I knew worked on my customers, especially the teen group. However, when you talk to people, especially adults, the biggest thing that I hear from women nowadays, and a lot of men too, but mostly women, is that I have more acne now than I had when I was in high school or, you know, when I was in junior high. So that seems to be, and you know, think about it. We've got so many toxins in our environment. We've got so many things that we're, you know, ingesting, so many different things that we're actually putting on our face that we probably don't even realize are bad for our face, like mineral oil. And I kind of use that as an example in, we've got some tips for successful acne skincare on the back here, and we'll go over that in just a minute. But let's start out with our acne face care steps. So for your minor acne, and what I want you to do is I really want you, and that's kind of on the tip sheet, but really kind of interview your customer. Get to know those people a little bit to find out, you know, where they're at. Are they minor? Are they moderate? Are they severe? And a lot of times you'll talk to the parent if it's you know, at a show or at a vendor event. Try to find out as much information as you can about that person so that you can start them out at the appropriate level. Less is always more. That's one of the things that's on my tips on the back. Less is always more. Try to start your customer on the appropriate systems. Start with the least amount of products tailored to that customer, and then you can always build from there. Sometimes just the basic kit will help. The moderate to severe acne sufferer, even if, and sometimes, especially if they've been using a product that just has one ingredient in it, again, mineral oil is usually that product, that's kicking off their acne, okay? So you can always add the products in later. When you start with a smaller system, it always builds trust with you and that customer, okay? They don't see you as a salesperson. They see you as somebody who wants to truly help them, and that's what I am in this for. I truly and honestly love to go out and help people clear their faces up, because I've been there, I've done that, and it is so hard to find something affordable, which our products are affordable. They last a long time. And even if, because you're going to have those customers that it just doesn't work with. And I don't feel guilty. I feel bad for that person, but I don't feel guilty that I have sold them something that didn't work, and they didn't break the bank on it, okay? Because I did that for a long time. Okay, so the minor acne, we're going to start out with the complexion bar, daily or twice daily. I usually recommend twice daily for somebody, just starting out. They can always cut that back to one day if they do really well on it. I tell them to leave the bar in the package, but don't let water sit in the package. I tell them to wet their facial brush and just kind of wick the extra wetness off, and rub the facial brush on top of the bar, and then they're just going to cleanse their face with that. They're going to rinse. I put mine on a suction cup holder on the back of the shower, so that no water can actually get in it and sit, and it's just more for convenience for me, because the less steps that I have to do in a day is possible, and I'm sure you guys are all the same way. So next is they get out of the shower, they pat their face dry. It's going to be toner mist daily after each cleansing. You always want to use the toner mist after you use the complexion bar. Sometimes you can get it with one spray, sometimes you can't. You guys know that. Sometimes you get a little sprayer that's good that can, get one spray. Sometimes you've got one that's just, when you get down to the end of the bottle, you're like, okay, I gotta squeeze that all out. The toner mist, though, contains witch hazel in it, which is why it's so effective. If you talk to like some of your moms, grandmas, witch hazel was like used for bacteria killing everything. I mean, they used witch hazel, they used iodine, they used a lot of things that, we don't see in medicine cabinets anymore back in the day. So, but it is all natural, so witch hazel is a very, very good antibacterial. Acne treatment gel. You can use this as a spot treatment up to 2 times a day. It's got the natural salicylic acid in it to combat the acne naturally with no harmful ingredients or anything to dry the skin. It heals the damaged pores and soothes irritated, clogged pores, and you only need such a small amount. How many of you guys have actually used the acne treatment gel? Okay, when we first came out with that acne treatment gel, I thought, okay, that is not going to last anybody I know but about a week. And I squeezed this big, spot out on the back of my hand, and I literally covered the entire back of my hand, all the way up my arm. I thought, okay, well, maybe not. So I always tell the parents or teens whenever it's the teen that I'm dealing with, because I do teen face care shows, so I can tell them at the show, but a lot of times I will deal with the parent, and I'll let them know, have them just kind of tap on the back of their hand or on their finger, just kind of have them tap that out. Don't have them squeeze that acne gel out, because they're going to get the best bang for their buck that way. Now, sometimes I've had some moms come to me and say, oh, well, they're out already. They are using way too much. You may need to monitor that a little bit. So a little goes a long way. So for moderate acne, then we're going to add in, after the acne treatment gel, we are going to, well, not after the acne treatment gel, actually, we are going to do a full face mask with the detoxifying clay mask once a week for 10 to 15 minutes, or nightly as a spot treatment on those acne spots. I usually just try to eliminate the acne treatment gel at least at night, have them do the acne treatment gel in the morning, and then the detoxifying clay mask as a spot treatment. They're going to put it on the area that's affected. They're going to leave it on all night long. And yes, it's going to get crusty, and yes, it's going to get on your pillow, and that's just how it works. And so the next morning, they're going to cleanse their face again. It's going to come off. Usually within about 2 to 3 days, sometimes 1 to 2, but usually within 2 to 3 days, that spot will be gone. The detoxifying clay mask is wonderful for that. Again, product knowledge. This mask, which contains all natural bentonite clay, detoxifies, deep cleans, pulls pollutants from your skin. Use once weekly for 10 to 15 minutes as a full face mask to pull out toxins and bacteria and keep the skin from breaking out, or use a thin layer as a spot treatment after cleansing toning mist all night long, and rinse and cleanse in the morning for harder to treat acne spots. Now, the key with the detoxifying clay mask, sometimes when I add the detoxifying clay mask into a regimen, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And that's totally normal. I would give it at least 2 to 3 weeks before I would tell the person, okay, this, we're going to have to add in something else or whatever. Because what it's going to do is it's going to pull those toxins from deep, deep, deep below the skin, and it's actually going to bring them to the skin surface. And then the skin has to rebalance back out. And sometimes that takes a while with some of your customers. It's going to take a little bit of time. It may not take that much time for some, but on others, it is going to take some time. Just tell the customer to be patient, try to stick with the regimen, and it will end up getting better, in the long run. So give them a couple of weeks. Acne treatment moisturizer with natural willow bark extract. Use that daily or as needed. Oily, acne-prone skin needs a little help, and willow bark extract is another natural source of salicylic acid that fights bacteria, reduces inflammation, and soothes the skin. So those would be the other 2 things that I would do for moderate acne. Okay, and again, it just goes straight with your everyday system. Okay, in your catalog. Severe acne, steps 1 through 5 above, but this would be step 2. You would put in your spa polish before you do your toner mist. I keep my spa polish and my detoxifying clay mask right in the shower with me, so it's right there. I put my detoxifying clay mask on when I'm shaving my legs because it takes me forever to do that because I cut myself a lot. So I just slap that on while I'm shaving my legs, and then because again, systems, I've got to get the, I've got to eliminate steps where I can. So, and I always tell teenagers to do the same. Try to keep everything to where it's going to be easy to fit into their regimen, because if it's not, they're not going to do it. Teenagers are just not, typically regimented enough to do that. Mm-hmm.
How much are you doing the spot polish? How often?
2 to 3 times a week.
And then the clay mask on a different day?
Actually, I try to do the clay mask after I do the spot polish. Okay. Yeah, I try to exfoliate the skin really well, and then put that detoxifying clay mask on to go ahead and pull those toxins out, and they don't have to break through that, all that dead skin. Yeah. Sometimes 2-3 weeks, or sometimes 2-3 times a week for the spa polish is going to be too much. And those are things that you're going to have to really ask questions with your customers, and you're going to have to, it's kind of a learning curve. So sometimes you have to back off on that spa polish. Okay. Now, did everybody know that not only is the spa polish an exfoliant to get rid of the dead skin cells, but that the cracked walnut shells that are in the spa polish have a natural antibacterial property to them. So I believe that between the witch hazel, the detoxifying clay mask, and the cracked walnut shells, I think those 3 products were key to getting rid of my chronic facial dermatitis, because that's a skin bacteria, which is what acne is as well. So I think with those 3 products, you've got 3 different ways of killing skin bacteria. So I think those 3 things in combination were really key for me.
Quick question. If they have nut allergies, should they avoid the walnut polish?
I have never encountered anybody who has broken out with the spa polish. That's just me personally, and I have a lot of people on the system. But I don't know. I'm not positive about that.
I was going to say, I know my daughter can't.
She can't use it? Okay. So that's true nut allergy. Okay. So, yeah, and that would be kind of like your glutens. People who can't ingest the glutens really probably shouldn't have anything with, wheat or oats or anything on their skin, because it's going straight into the bloodstream. So that's good to know. I learned something. Yay! Thank you for that. Okay. So we're going to add in the spa polish. The one thing that I will say, a lot of times people will get a little bit dried out, like on their cheek area. So if they start to do that, I will tell them to focus on the T-zone or just the oily spots with the spa polish. So there again, customer relations is really good in this area when you're talking, with your customers. So touch base with them. It's great for oily skin or in the T-zone area, forehead, nose, and chin to help reduce that extra oil. Do not over exfoliate though. I get a lot of people who are scrubbing with that facial brush and then they're really scrubbing with that spa polish. That's not really what our skin needs. Our skin just needs, light exfoliation. You've got the products and the tools with the facial brush and with the spa polish. You can just lightly exfoliate your skin. So kind of be sure to let them know that as well. If they have rosacea, you probably want to not have them use the spa polish, at least on the cheeks or where they have the rosacea. You can just focus on those areas. And I would probably give them a sample of the spa polish before they actually buy a bottle. That's what I usually try to do. You want to keep that skin calm if they've got rosacea. So avoid the exfoliation. Tea tree, yay, I'm so excited. I didn't find this out until just a few minutes ago that we have the tea tree in the Premier system now. So I'm so excited, yay, 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 yay. I'm so excited about that. Because when parents are looking at buying their teens a system for somebody who does have moderate acne, they're looking to get the best bang for their buck. The last thing they want to do is spend money on a Premier set and then spend another $25 for the tea tree? Another $25 for the tea tree oil. So I am so excited about this. I've got another tool in my pocket now. So, but what you're going to do, what I have found is easiest because a lot of times when I know that somebody is on a really, really tight budget, and I will start them just on, even if they have severe acne and they just tell me, I cannot afford the Premier set, okay? So a lot of times what I'll do is have them buy the tea tree oil and then just start out with the basic set, but at least they've got the tea tree oil to add into the witch hazel or into the toner mist. So that's something that you can kind of keep in mind if somebody comes to you and says, well, I can't really afford the Premier system. I'd like to do something, a little bit more custom to my budget. So what you're going to do is you're going to add 12 to 16 drops in the toner mist or 10 to 15 drops in the acne moisturizer and really just mix it up well. And I kind of tell, it's step number 6 on your severe acne. And it's 12 to 16 drops of tea tree oil in the toner mist or 10 to 15 drops in the acne treatment moisturizer.
You don't put it in both, you just do one or the other?
I usually start out with one or the other. I think sometimes tea tree you can get too much of. Yeah. And so I do start really conservative with that. I do tell them though to shake up the toner mist really well before each spritz though, because that stuff the tea tree oil tends to settle on the top of the toner mist and then you're not getting it mixed in. So do kind of shake that up real good between each use. And I hand this out to each person who purchases any skincare kit, okay? Because they get home, you can tell them this all day, but they get home and they're like, oh, wait a minute, what was I supposed to do? So this is just really good. And I took my information off today, but I usually have all my contact information down there at the bottom. The PDF will be online for you guys to do that same thing. And then I put down there, just please do not hesitate to call me with questions. I'm passionate about skincare. And it kind of just tells a little bit about our products. And I say don't overuse. Just because people are used to other products. And you have to use a lot of the other products, and you don't have to use a lot of ours. So tips for successful acne skincare. Remember, these are just guidelines. This is a guideline. And this is just to get you started with each individual customer. You can tailor yours, to that individual customer. Common troubleshooting, I've personally found less is more. We kind of went over that. When you start out with a smaller system and kind of build from there, they don't see you as a salesperson. They're going to see you as genuinely caring about their issue and you trying to help them fix that issue. I'm not a salesman. I am not a salesman. I share our products and I share our information behind our products with people, and I genuinely do care about face care. And I think people can truly see that when I'm working with them one-on-one or even at a spa show. Try to get the customer to eliminate any other products that they will be using. This is so key because again, just your mineral oil causes clogged pores. It's one of the biggest causes of acne that there is out there. For those of you who have flip charts, I don't know how many times I've said that over and over on the flip chart because it's stated right there on the flip chart that mineral oil causes acne. It clogs pores and it stops skin function. So, and it is in almost every bath product, every skincare product out there. So please be sure to kind of talk with your customer and make sure that they're eliminating any other products. Our products do work together, and they may be using another product that has mineral oil in it, which will cause acne in some cases. So try to learn as much about your customer's regimen before you begin to work with them. Educate them as to why it's important that our products be used exclusively. This especially goes for customers who are using makeup other than Jordan Essentials. Again, for example, 1 or 2 ingredients such as talc, bismuth oxide are in major brands that are labeled mineral. They're very irritating to the skin. They can cause breakouts and other skin issues. My issue with talc was that it just itched my face off every time I put it on my skin. And when we came out with our mineral makeup, I could not fit. I'm like, why is this so different? They're both labeled mineral. So educate people about that. You don't know how many people have switched over to our makeup after I've set, because they're like, oh, I'm already using a mineral makeup. Okay, you're using a mineral makeup, but will you check the back of the label if you're having issues with it, because talc and bismuth oxide, you and I have had a conversation about this before. She's back there shaking her head, and we talked about that last year. She was having the same issues I was. And you have to educate people. I would have never known that had I not turned both of our labels over and looked to compare, what the ingredients of both of those mineral makeups were. So the FDA regulates that you can have up to 5% non-minerals in mineral makeup and still label it as mineral makeup. So it's those other minerals or those other things that might be, breaking somebody out. Stress how important it is to use our skincare line and our mineral makeup line together, because they complement each other by not having harmful hidden ingredients. And then this is a great way to get one-on-ones with people. You meet a customer at a vendor event and they're interested in the acne treatment line for their daughter, and you then have an in for doing a one-on-one with that daughter and the mom and maybe a couple of friends. And I just basically, Bev was the one that taught me a couple of years ago to do that after you had done a teen mineral makeup show with Eden and her friends. And I started doing those, and I'm telling you, it is so fun to get a group of 10 to 14-year-old little girls in there and teach them about skincare, because they're not listening to their mom. I have one that doesn't listen to me, and she knows more than I do about face care, and she's 11. But if I tell her, she's not going to listen to me. If I get a lady that has Jordan Essentials come in, she's going to listen, and it's going to be fun because her friends are there. This is a great way to not only book shows, but teach young, impressionable girls about how to take care of their skin now, so that we're not having to reverse the damage later. If I knew then what I know now. So stress how important it is to use the skincare line and our mineral makeup together, because they complement each other. Then offer to do that one-on-one face care or mineral makeup, mineral makeover. Once they try our products, they're going to see how much a little bit goes a long way, and that's just going to branch them out into all of our other product line. Okay? Remember, it's about the trust, the relationship, and helping someone, not the sale. And they can tell that. I have found that sometimes after a customer has been using our acne treatment line with the acne treatment moisturizer, okay? Seems like after their skin gets a little bit balanced out, the pH in their skin gets balanced. They're finally starting to kind of get over that acne issue. starting to have less breakouts. We've pulled all the toxins out of the skin. They start to tend to get a little bit oily after using that acne moisturizer. So sometimes, this is just a tip from me that you might want to try. I back them off of using the acne treatment moisturizer daily. Okay? That's just something that has worked for me. Mm-hmm.
So do you go to no moisturizer at all, or do you switch?
I tell them as they need it. No, I usually don't switch them to the normal. Nope. I usually just tell them, listen to your skin. You know, if you start getting dry patches, maybe only use it just in the dry patch area. I just think the skin kind of transforms after being on our face care system, getting off of whatever they were using before. Their skin finally starts to line out, and sometimes they just don't need that moisturizer every day. So I kind of just tell them back off on that. If they start to feel like they need the moisturizer again, then they can go ahead and add that into the regimen as needed. Mm-hmm.
About how long have you seen it takes for the acne to clear up?
You know, everybody's different. There again, it depends on how much water they're drinking, and it depends on how many pollutants are in the air that they're around. It depends on their age and their hormones. That's a big one. I usually see results within 2 weeks, especially with boys. Teen boys, I'm seeing lots and lots and lots of heads nodding. Usually within 2 weeks, on the boys especially, you're going to see some immediate results. At least less acne, more skin clearing, less acne. For girls, I tend to think it takes a little bit longer. I think a lot of that has to do with maybe some of the other products that they're using, because they're going to be using more products outside of, you know, what boys are using. Boys are just going to go in and wash their face with water. So they don't have all those other extra environmental things that they're putting on their face. Is it? Okay. It's 2 o'clock, so we're good. But I think with girls, sometimes you'll see a little bit less acne in 2 weeks, and it takes about 4 weeks for them to really see a transformation, I think. And that's totally on average. I had a girl that I was working with, but she stuck with the regimen. I talked to her mom almost every other day. I made sure that her mom knew exactly what she was doing, watching her wash her face in the evening, knowing exactly how she was using the products. We took out the acne moisturizer after about, I think, a month and a half, when her skin finally started to kind of balance out, and that was the key. She saw immediate results after she quit using the acne moisturizer every day. Because she had gotten better, but then she got oily again. And so it's almost like there's a teeter-totter, and once you fall over that line, it's kind of like you need to kind of adjust things after that again. And now she's kind of backed off on the spa polish too. She's not using the spa polish quite as much now too. So just really try to keep in touch with that customer and have them, really let you know exactly what's working and what's not. When I get a customer who's not seeing the results that they are hoping for, and this is where follow-up is so important, because a lot of times that customer's not going to get back with you and say, this isn't working. They're just going to fall off of it. Well, I only paid $33 for that system. It's not working, so I'm just going to set it on the back shelf or throw it in the trash, and you're not going to hear from them again. Follow-ups are super, super important, especially with your teenage crowd. So when I I always follow up with them, and I ask them, we learned this a couple of years ago at convention. When you follow up with somebody, say, are you seeing the results that you were hoping for with our product? I don't say, how do you like that product? Or, I always ask them, are you seeing the results that you were hoping for, when you purchased our product? And they'll tell you yes or no. So from there, when they are not getting the results that they were hoping for, I want them to tell me exactly step by step what they're doing, morning and evening, before I change anything. Because they may have just misinterpreted something, either off the sheet or something that we discussed. Sometimes the smallest change will make a huge difference, so I always get the correct information. Sometimes you can use the acne treatment gel too much. A lot of times those teens think, well, if I just put just a little bit more on, I'll put it on maybe 4 times a day instead of 2 times a day. You don't want to do that because the skin's going to dry out a little bit, and so it's especially true with teenagers. Sometimes it's hard to get the correct information out of them about their skincare. That's why I really depend on mom and dad to kind of come to the rescue and, kind of try to follow them around a little bit and spy on their regimen and tell me exactly what they're doing. Only make small gradual changes in the regimen at one time. If you change too much at once, you won't know what is working or not working. So make small changes. I usually give it a 2-week time period. 1 full week before changing anything else, but 2 weeks is really a good time frame to kind of give it to see if something is working or not working. Have the customer keep a log if they will, so that you know what they've tried, because you're not going to remember everything that customer's tried, and I am not good at writing things down when I've talked to a customer, so if they can keep a log for you, that is definitely best. It's a process, and though most people want to see results quickly, help them understand that skin balance takes a while, okay? Just make sure they understand that, you know that they want to see immediate results, but sometimes it's just a process, and everybody's skin is different, and what works for one person is not going to work for another. Please understand that overall you will help more customers than you won't help. However, there's always a few that still don't achieve the results that you or they wish they would, and that's okay, because you've gotten out there, you've tried to help that person, and that's what your goal is to help them. Our products will help the majority, and you can just share them, learn as much about them and why they work, and care about helping as many people as you can. If you have those few that are not successful, you haven't failed. You're still trying to help people, and that's what we're here to do. So, does anybody have any questions? Yes?
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
2 questions.
Uh-huh.
I have a facial set up, and I know the steps, but I don't feel I know the nuances of what to say about. Do you have a demo online that we can look at?
No, I do not, but that might be something that Nancy would look at doing. It would be nice to have a little face care, acne treatment care video. So we'll talk to Nancy about that and see if we can maybe get that set up.
For August 17th, please.
Truly and honestly, when I do, of course I've done many of these. However, if you just will follow this during your show.
The steps are easy.
Uh-huh.
They're asking questions about the product.
Uh-huh.
So the other part of my question is, where is all the specific product ingredient information and all that?
Be in your ABC glossary, which can be a little bit intimidating because it's so big. And we have a lot of products. Use your hot sheets that are available. That's all available in your JE University. And I would highly recommend that you just spend as much as of your time as you can looking at those. Take the ABC glossary to print it off, take it to your shows. Just read it. This has been a process of years of adding in new products and just learning about them. Testimonials. Put a little testimonial booklet together and have your customers just give you testimonials. On my Facebook page, I had put on there, I wanted people to share some testimonials with me because I can talk all day long to all my customers and I can tell them how great our products are, but when another customer tells another customer how great that product is and how great it worked, they're going to listen to them a whole lot more than they're going to listen to me. But in the meantime, I have basically told you why each of these products work. Just focus on that at your show.
It's not an acne prone, the facial, it's not for acne.
Okay. Just the face care, just the general face care line. So, okay, so here you go. This is what I would do. And because I'm not new, I am just going to, this is what I'm going to say I'm going to tell you to do. Let me look here real quick. In your catalog, you've got each one of those products that are going to be included in, whether you're doing a face care show, an oily show, whatever. And usually when I do my face care shows for older people, not teens, not a teen face care show. Usually when I do the teen face care show, I usually just demo the acne treatment system, okay? When I do a general face care show for adults, I will bring the entire face care line, but I will have my acne treatment line there because there are some adults that say, I'm prone to acne, so I will go ahead and, tailor that to them. I have face care bowls that I bought, just little plastic square bowls that I bought from Dollar Tree, because Dollar Tree is my best friend. Those people know me like you would not believe. We do paper towels from them. I do the little face rounds, and that's what everybody kind of takes their makeup on. It's like $120 for $1 or something. I do bring my own towels, just washcloth towels, or not washcloths, but hand towels. You can get them 2 for $1 at Dollar Tree. Only wash them in free and clear. Do not wash them in normal detergent, because there are so many people that are allergic to detergent and they will break out, and it is a bad situation. If that does happen, just because some people are allergic to botanical ingredients, and if that does happen, if you will just dip a washcloth or a paper towel in milk, then and have them apply that, it will kind of take the burn out. But what I would do is all of your information really about each product is in our catalog. So you can kind of just follow along in the catalog and just pretty much kind of, now in the toner mist it doesn't really talk about the witch hazel, but you can go through your ABC glossary and kind of maybe make just a little note card, for each show, like a face care show. Kind of just hit the highlights of the things that, just little tidbits, just like the toner mist with the witch hazel, the bentonite clay in the detoxifying clay mask, the salicylic acid in the acne treatment gel, and the moisturizer, the tea tree oil, why that's beneficial. Just make little tiny bullet points, and before you know it, you don't even have to look at those spa cards anymore, because you're just, you're doing it. No, I'm talking about like if you make little cheat sheet note cards to take to your shows about product ingredients when you're sharing the information. No, look at your spot cards. This is just complimenting those spot cards, but that's kind of what I would do. I always take a pitcher of water. I've got a great big green like spigot pitcher that I take around. I usually fill that up with hot water. And have that right there so that I can warm water up whenever people are, spritzing their face, because that water does get kind of cold as you're doing your show. And you can just kind of follow whichever show you're doing, follow it straight through the catalog.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Another thing that I don't do like a regular tic-tac-toe, but I put like 3 lines down and 2 lines across on a paper, and I make up little cards about the products. So they're learning about all those products on a little bingo.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's great. That's a great idea, and that's something you might want to ask if we can post online, maybe. That'd be a very good tool for a new consultant. Uh-huh.
Also a little thing about my story.
Uh-huh.
And book in a show too.
Right.
But mainly about just the product.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Whatever helps you learn and retain, the information that you're teaching on. Uh-huh.
You have such good skin.
I do now. But thank you.
Do you still use like for acne oily, or are you?
You know what? I just bounce all around. It's just whatever's in my shower. I have everything in my shower because, we have all the products.
Kind of go with what's going on with your face.
I just kind of use what I mix it up now because my skin is better, and so sometimes I'll use the cleansing, the gentle cleanser. Sometimes I'll use the oatmeal milk and honey bar. Sometimes I'll use, and now I've just found out that I was gluten intolerant 3 months ago, so I haven't been able to use the shampoo, the conditioner, the hair mask, or the oatmeal milk and honey bar. So I haven't used any of that for about 4 months. I've stuck strictly to the gentle cleanser, but now I get to use all that stuff again. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to head to the River Market and get my first oatmeal milk and honey bar that doesn't have any gluten in it. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. But I kind of just mix and match. With our products, my skin is so lined out that you can just use anything now and it just doesn't matter. So I do get a breakout every now and then, but it's usually something that I've eaten or hormonal or something like that. And I just use when I need to use the acne treatment gel or the detoxifying clay mask, and yeah, kind of go from there.
So now, I have a client that is allergic to oatmeal.
Yeah.
Will she still not?
No. No. You're going to have a few of those. Is somebody over here had a question? Uh-huh.
The gentle cleanser.
Uh-huh.
Would not use that at the same time that you would use the complexion bar. They're basically both going to remove the makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't, unless one is not working, I mean, you know, for a particular situation, like I would start, if they have normal to oily skin, I would probably, or I'm sorry, not normal to dry skin, I would probably use the gentle cleanser to start out with. If that for some reason doesn't work, then you could try the oatmeal milk and honey bar. I usually try to kind of save that for oily and acne prone skin.
The complexion bar.
Yes. Uh-huh. Yep.
Go ahead, and I have one other question.
Okay, go ahead.
You're talking about all the acne and stuff, but like I have one where she has like eczema real bad on her elbows.
Uh-huh.
Would all that work for that too?
I would probably, for people who have like back acne, arm acne, you know, there are some people who have acne in different spots. I would definitely do the oatmeal milk and honey bar on that. They could use the toner mist or the spa polish just to start out with to kind of get rid of it. But as far as maintaining, they could do the Dead Sea body mud mask. I have a lot of people who do that for back acne. But for eczema, definitely the skin relief. But to start out with, definitely the oatmeal milk and honey bar, maybe soaking in some Dead Sea salts, and then using the Dead Sea body mud mask followed up by the skin relief. Yeah. Uh-huh.
On the clay mask,
Uh-huh.
is it better to use that when you're basically, like if you've been in the shower, you've washed all over, and then put that on, like your pores are open, everything's hot, or does it matter?
I mean, I think you're always going to be better off doing that, but you know what? I think the detoxifying clay mask is so forgiving that you could just use it any way you want it, and it's still going to pull the toxins out. Detoxifying clay mask too, for anybody who doesn't know, really good for any kind of rash. Bug bites are, I mean, it is wonderful for bug bites. Bee stings, anything to pull any kind of toxin, anything bad in your skin, pull it out. No household should be without detoxifying clay mask and skin relief. That's just my opinion, sorry. That's not face care, but that's just my opinion, yes.
You said that if they're allergic to, well, can't use the spa polish because of that, but is the gentle cleanser, is that okay? Or?
I would say, yeah, the gentle cleanser doesn't have any, nothing to do with nuts, I don't believe. I think the cracked walnut shells are the only product, yeah. No, because the gentle cleanser really is going to be the same thing as the complexion bar as far as achieving the results that you want with, with that product. I would just use the facial brush as your exfoliant. They just may have to kind of use that a little bit more if they're seeing that they're getting some clogged pores, and then use the detoxifying clay mask, because really that detoxifying clay mask is going to do the similar I mean, it's going to pull the toxins from the skin. It's just not going to do the exfoliation part. So if they exfoliate really well with the facial brush and then do the detoxifying clay mask, they should see the same results, I would think, yeah, kind of in that situation. Oh, the gentle exfoliant. I'm sorry, I forget. I'm sorry, I forget about the gentle exfoliant because I don't ever use it because I love the spa polish, and I'm so sorry. And Nancy's like, but for people with rosacea, I'm like, yes, and I do forget about that. So yes, the gentle exfoliant, yes, they can use that. Yeah, I just typically don't use that because I love the cracked walnut shells myself. So I kind of forget we have that.
I have a bit of rosacea and I love the spa polish.
Really?
Yes, because
Are we ready?
I feel like it cleans better.
Okay.
And it exfoliates better, and I have girls try it all the time. They put one on one hand, one on the other hand, and one on the other, and invariably they will choose the spa polish.
I have had very few people who tell me that they have sensitive skin that have not been able to use the spa polish. I've not, in fact, I don't think I've encountered anybody who tells me that they've got sensitive skin who can't use the spa polish. So, yeah.
One clarifying, if you really do have someone with a nut allergy, I happen to be a nurse practitioner. With a nut allergy, do pay attention because a lot of our products, if they have a nut base and they truly have a nut allergy, you got to be careful with it. Ask them to talk to their doctor first. Just for your knowledge, you got to be careful with our products because they're wonderful.
Yeah, but they're,
Truly have a nut
yes.
allergy. But then a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if the money is, I mean, I understand that you're starting out with the small.
Uh-huh.
But if you know that they don't, that finances isn't as, but would you introduce the
The tea tree?
tea tree?
I wouldn't. Off from the beginning, I wouldn't, unless it is a severe acne case. If it's not completely severe, where their entire face is just completely covered with it, I would just do the basic set. Start out with that, and just tell them that in the future, they can add products as needed, and that might be something they want to look at, later on. But I would just start out with the basic set because 9 times out of 10, that's going to clear up 50% at least or more of your skin issue. Go ahead.
My other question is the difference between the oatmeal milk honey and the pure glycerin. So as far as offering them the option of that, because sometimes I will have to say, well, can't we just use the glycerin in oatmeal, which
I tend, just personally, and I don't know if this is correct, Nancy, but I personally tend to think, in my experience, I've had some customers use the pure glycerin versus the oatmeal, and they have dried out.
well, is the glycerin with the oatmeal?
Well, I'm talking about just the pure glycerin and oatmeal soap versus the oatmeal milk and honey soap. The customers that I've had that have just used the pure glycerin soap, not the oatmeal milk and honey bar, but the pure glycerin and oatmeal soap, they've kind of tended to dry out a little bit.
Now, is that the same with this, remember the sensitive soap that we had?
Yeah, that was just the pure glycerin and oatmeal.
And you know what, I had a customer to do that.
Yeah.
And I
Did they dry out a little bit?
why it wasn't
Yep.
working for her.
Yeah. I tend to steer away from the pure glycerin unless somebody tells me that they have like an SLS problem, but now we don't have to worry about that because the SLS is not in any of the soap bars anymore. So sodium lauryl sulfate, and it's just it's a foamer, SLS. It's just a foaming agent, and it tends to be very irritating to skin. So